Hello there, this is James and you're watching Tixee Live. And a very good morning to all of you and a very happy Tuesday. Today's program, I'd like to discuss a certain announcement which was made yesterday during the US trading session and the potential repercussions of that announcement, as well as, of course, discuss we're in height of earnings season, so discuss about a certain earnings report expected today after the close and obviously the outcome of that, and plus a couple other things happening in the market. But before we get to that, don't forget these little episodes or these little videos are for educational purposes only and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence. And of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out of the way, let's get started. So, starting off, during halfway near the end of the US trading session yesterday, Apple, one of the largest and biggest companies in the world, made an announcement which sort of spooked the market a little bit. As you remember yesterday, as I was discussing, we were having a bit of a relief rally on the back of the market pricing in only a 75 basic point rate hike on the 27th of July, not the 100 basic point rate hike they were thinking about last week. But how Apple yesterday sort of changed the mood a little bit. Apple basically announced that it plans to slow hiring and curb spending next year to prepare for a possible recession. So yes, we have the dreaded R word once again. Okay, once again. In fact, Apple said it needs to be more careful during these uncertain times. The knock-on effect of this was that the market saw this as very negative, and it turned slightly risk-off near the end of the US trading session. And Apple actually closed lower by 2.1%. 2.1%. Now, obviously, if Apple, and it's a very cash-rich company, this company, don't forget, it's a very cash-rich company. If it's making this sort of announcement, okay, then obviously these large corporations are preparing for the worst to happen. So yes, the dreaded R word. At the same time, Goldman Sachs also announced that it was planning to do job cuts again at the end of the year. So again, a bank is saying it's preparing for the worst. So yeah, this was negative news, and it's understandable why Apple is saying that. With high inflation, it's clearly a lot more difficult for people to buy, a $2,000 or $1,000 iPhones. So no wonder they are taking this action. But again, it's spooking the market. And don't forget, obviously, all attention now will turn to their earnings, which is expected on the 28th of July. So anyway, that's the story at the moment. Apple spooking the market. Now, today, another tech giant, okay, is Netflix. Netflix earnings is expected today after the market close, okay, after the market close. It is expected to be bad news. Okay, the market is expecting these earnings to be bad news. And it's expected that Netflix will announce a loss of 2 million subscribers. 2 million subscribers in the second quarter. The beginning of the year, Netflix reported its first quarterly loss in subscribers. And that's the first time it's ever happened in the existence of Netflix as a company. So yeah, it is expected to announce 2 million subscribers lost. Obviously, there's a lot more competition now. You have the likes of Disney Plus, etc. But anyway, this is still going to be quite negative news. The question is whether or not this is obviously priced in or not already, because the market is expecting this news to be bad. And it is bad. And in general, Netflix has got a little bit of a stigma to it. Actually, like I say, their market valuation so far this year has gone down from 3 billion to under 90 billion in less than a year. So that is pretty negative. There is talk, though, that they're going to change some of their practices. Okay. One of the things which I think is costing them a lot is the password share. Because obviously, as you know, we've got a Netflix account, a family can share a password with, amongst themselves in different households. In fact, they reckon there's 100 million households around the world sharing passwords. So this is clearly, obviously, affecting their income. 30 million in US and Canada alone. So there is talk of Netflix to try and get some additional income by obviously not allowing password to share anymore. In fact, I believe they're going to do a little test run of this program in South America first and see how that goes. But yeah, there is, like I say, 100 million households sharing passwords. So that's quite a big revenue if they're able to tap into that. Let's have a quick look at Netflix, where they are at the moment, or where they closed, and have a quick look at where Apple closed yesterday after that announcement. Now, here's Apple. As you can see, this is the candle. This is on a 30-minute chart. When they made that announcement, obviously the share price came under pressure, and it closed around $147.09. If we have a quick look at Netflix as well, actually, I need to put Netflix. Have we got Netflix ready? Let's put Netflix in so we can have a look at Netflix as well. There we go. Give me 2 seconds, and we'll have a look, see where Netflix is, or where it closed yesterday. 1 second. Just bear with me. There we go. Okay. So let's have a look where Netflix is as well. Okay. So Netflix, obviously, because of this anticipation of this earnings report, which you say is due after the close, it is quite obviously under pressure. Closed around 190.56. And as you can see, the market is preparing itself for these earnings to show a negative light on the company. The question is whether or not this is already priced in. So that's where we can see Netflix at the moment as well. So anyway, there we go. So Netflix and Apple, 2 tech giants. Other news. Let's go into a quick look at economic data. Again, the UK had some economic data come out today. First of all was their unemployment, and that held steady at 3.8, same as the previous unemployment reading. Claimant count, however, came in worse. Okay, claimant count came in negative 20,000.1. Okay, versus the negative of 34,000.7 expected. Now, don't forget, the UK claimant count, okay, is basically the number of people who are signing on for unemployment benefit for the first time, like the US initial claims. Okay, but the difference is the UK do it differently. Okay, they do it like a negative figure, like less people. Okay, and the higher the negative figure is, the better it is. So obviously it's only 20,000 negative, not negative 34,000 expected. So it's not good news. Okay, in fact, claimant count, we look at it since March. In March, it was negative 48,000. Okay, good. Negative 46,000 in April. Good. Negative 56,000 in May. Good. Negative 19,000 in June. Not so good. And now negative 20,000 for July. So again, this is sort of showing growth. There's growth in more and more people signing on for unemployment benefits. So not necessarily very good news. Average earnings came out as well, lower than expected, 6.2% versus 6.9% expected. So again, this was negative. So this wasn't necessarily good news either. In fact, regular pay is falling at the fastest rate since 2001. So not good news either. And obviously with the high inflation and high prices, there is a cost of living crisis in the UK, which brings me to the fact that the market will now wait for the big event for the UK tomorrow, which is the UK CPI. Expectation is 9.2%. That'd be a new 40-year record high if it comes in at that level. So yeah, that's the big thing for today. So not great news. Unemployment's okay, but claimant count and average earnings, not so good for the UK. So we'll have a quick look. Let's have a quick look at the cable, see where we are with it at the moment. So here's the cable. Okay, we're currently testing this key level I'll be looking at. Don't forget, 120.034. Okay, so we are still seeing it trying to fight back against the greenback. Okay, so it's currently trading just around that level I've been watching for ages, 1.20034, currently trading at 1.2012. So it's trying to fight back. RSI on the 30 minutes, slightly over the 70. So potentially indicating in the short term, maybe potentially overbought. But if we look at a daily, where we are with the daily. It's in between the 30 and the 70 on the daily. So not really indicating that it's oversold or overbought at this stage. So yeah, that's the cable. Okie doke, let's have a look at some other news. Obviously later today as well, due in about 45 minutes time. Okay, we have the EU CPI due at 9 a.m. Expectation of that is 8.6%. 8.6%, which will mean if it does come out of that level or at that reading, then all eyes will be on the ECB interest rate decision on Thursday. Will they raise interest rates? I think we are all expecting them to raise interest rates for the first time since 2011, but are they going to still be dovish? Are we still going to get 0.25 only, which I think the market is expecting? Or are they going to shock us? Are they going to surprise us and do maybe 50 or even higher? You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's going to be a big event. Don't forget, it's on Thursday, 21st of July. I will be doing a watch along for that event. Other news. Okay, we have UK CPI, like I said yesterday, Canada CPI, Bank of Japan interest rate decision, ECB interest rate decision, like I've already mentioned, ECB press conference, which I think will be more important than the actual interest rate decision because we get to see what they say and how dovish Christine Lagarde is. German manufacturing PMI, UK services PMI, and Canadian retail sales. So we've still got plenty to look forward to this week. But like I say, and we have more earnings. Don't forget, we have Twitter earnings on Friday as well. So we're talking a bit more earnings reports as well and what to expect with that. But really today, it's going to be about Netflix. It's going to be about obviously see if we can get a bit of that more risk on tone, which we had yesterday after the Apple announcement. We have got slightly a damper tone with it because of it. Hello, that's a good question. Is the Nord Stream gas line supposed to open on Thursday too? Yes, that is, of course, the other massive event I think is going to be huge. I've talked about this for the last couple of days, how important this is. Yes, indeed, the Nord Stream 1 pipeline is supposed to reopen on the 21st. And there is so much fear that it will not reopen on Thursday. And don't forget, Europe gets 40% of its gas from these from Russian pipelines. And in fact, Germany gets 55 billion cubic meters of fuel from this pipeline. So this is huge. In fact, the EU today, on another matter in relation to Nord Stream, EU announced today to its members saying you have to cut back your consumption of gas. So there is real fear of the Nord Stream 1 pipeline on Thursday not reopening. So like I say, as I said yesterday, as I said on Friday, because I've talked about this so much, Thursday is going to potentially be a huge day. We have ECB, okay, and Nord Stream 1. Will it come back online? Fantastic question, by the way. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Well, I know, scary times, scary face. Yes, fantastic question. So yeah, massive event on the 21st. But today, Netflix, let's see how that comes in. I think the market is already pricing in. You're welcome. Thank you for the question. It was a great question. I think Netflix, the market's already priced in pretty much bad news, but it depends how bad it is. It could be even worse than we expect. So we have to keep an eye on that. And let's keep an eye on EU CPI as well. See if if it comes in at 8.6 as expected. Don't forget, you can ask me questions anytime you like this young lady did, which I really appreciate it. Great questions. Or simply say hello if you like. Don't forget you can do that too. Cool. Sorry, a bit thirsty. Throat's getting dry, and I think I've got to turn my aircon on. That's why I'm finding it a bit hot. Okay, if there is no further questions, don't forget, if you think of a question later, just drop it in the comments below, either on Facebook or on YouTube. I will see them, and I will reply to your question next time I'll go live. So do bear that in mind. Anyway, as there is no questions, don't forget I'll be back online again later this afternoon between 1 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. UTC, okay, to cover the US session and any further developments which has happened throughout the trading day. But anyway, as I always say, if you're watching me on Facebook and you've quite liked this episode, by all means, give us a follow. If you're watching me on YouTube and you enjoyed this little episode, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time when I'm going live. And if you enjoyed this little video, okay, and found it interesting, insightful, and you put up with me, with my over-the-top enthusiasm to the markets, which I cannot help because I love the markets, then give me one of these. It's nice to know that you're liking what I do. But anyway, till next time, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence. And of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.